On August 21, 1967, Scarpa advised concerning the murder of Lo Cicero approximately 6 months previously that he had heard a black guy supposed to be responsible for this murder. Scarpa said he heard this black guy was employed somewhere in Brooklyn, New York, and on the night of Lo Cicero's murder, Lo Cicero had asked this individual to drive him home. When this individual refused, Lo Cicero threatened him and he finally gave in to Lo Cicero's demands, Scarpa said apparently. After arriving in the area, Lo Cicero had become involved in a violent argument with this black guy and was murdered by him. Scarpa said that Richard Lo Cicero, and in fact the whole Lo Cicero family, are very poorly regarded and were never close. He stated that they were constantly fighting among themselves, and it is Scarpa's personal belief that Richard Lo Cicero was killed because they suspected that Lo Cicero was giving information to the Brooklyn DA office concerning his involvement in the theft of securities from a brokerage firm. On August 8, 1967, Scarpa stated approximately 14 weeks previously he had met with Carmine Persico at Joe's Bar on 4th Street and President Street, Brooklyn, New York, which Scarpa described as being next door to the bar in which Frankie Schatz Abedmarco was murdered. Scarpa said at that time Persico was in company with Hugh McIntosh, Jerry Langella, and another individual, who is a constant associate of Persico's, and whom he described as being a tall person. Scarpa said, although this meeting took place in the early afternoon, Persico appeared to have been up all night and appeared to have muddy shoes. Scarpa guessed that they had apparently been involved in a theft or other illegal activity during the night. Scarpa said at the present time, Persico is also operating a large numbers operation in Brooklyn, New York, and in this connection has been utilizing Jimmy Siena. Scarpa advised that Persico apparently uses this bar as a contact point with his numbers runners. On August 11, 1967, Scarpa stated he is aware that Persico is the subject of a theft from interstate shipment matter, which had come to court a number of times, but which case the government has been unable to successfully prosecute. Scarpa continued that another individual who is involved in this case with Persico is Ralph Spiro, who is presently serving a 10-year sentence at Wallkill Prison on another charge. Scarpa said that he had recently received a message from Spiro which he was to transport to Persico, to the effect that Ralph had not seen his brother, Shorty, for 1 year, was anxious for him to visit him, that Ralph had received no money, and that Ralph was concerned about his family. Scarpa said he had not relayed this message to Persico, and is aware that Spiro also comes up for a parole hearing in October 1968. Scarpa also advised that Ralph's brother, Shorty Spiro, is presently picking up numbers for Persico. Scarpa said he feels confident that Ralph Spiro is weak and has lost any loyalty he may have had to Persico, and is confident that if a discreet and aggressive approach is made to Spiro, he would crack. Scarpa continued that if any assurances could be made to Spiro concerning the safety of his family, he felt that Spiro might even testify as a government witness in the theft from interstate shipment case concerning Persico. Scarpa said that he had also learned recently that Sally D'Ambrosio, who was in Greenhaven Prison, had recently been transferred to Wallkill and has probably been keeping any eye on Spiro. Scarpa advised that he is in debt to Joe Colombo and Carlo Gambino in the amount of $25,000, for which he has been paying 1 point or a weekly vig of $250. Scarpa said consequently he has been unable to get ahead and pay off any of his principal. Scarpa said, however, that recently, subsequent to the triple homicide of the D'Angelos and Teleri, Scarpa had gone to Colombo, at which time he offered his assistance. Colombo advised Scarpa to stand by, and Scarpa observed that during the last year, Colombo and Gambino had a number of discussions with Smitty D'Angelo and were attempting to resolve the Bonanno family difficulties by having D'Angelo named boss of that family. Scarpa continued that Colombo appeared pleased with his offer of assistance and acknowledged his gratitude by advising Scarpa that he does not need to pay the vig on his loan, but requested that he instead pay at least $500 per week to eliminate the principal in the shortest possible time.